Hey, welcome back everyone, Don here. It's time, 50-hour service, 49.9 actually. So one of the things that I always forget is to pull the brush guard forward before I open my hood. $14mm. Oil filter right here. You know, in the old days, we used to drive a screwdriver through these things and spin them off that way. Whew! That sucker's on there. Never seen an oil filter so tight. That sucker was on there. So here's my box of goodies. I've got the Kubota engine oil and hydraulic fluid, only 2 quarts. Engine oil filter, hydraulic oil filter, and I did buy a couple of fuel filters. I don't need those today, but it's always a good thing to have on hand. Boy, I never looked at this when I bought it. I question that 1540. That don't seem right. You know, I was really expecting 10W30. I guess 1540 is accurate. So I'm not going to fill this filter with fluid, with oil, only because it goes in sort of sideways and it'll just dump all over the place. So the book says 3.3 quarts. This is 1 gallon. And let's see if we can not spill this. Seems weird to me to change the filter and not change the fluid too, but I guess that's what this calls for. I've already put some fluid on the, put some oil on the seal. You know, it's funny. This works better without the glove. Alright, that should do it. Now we'll check the fluid, top it off, and go on to other things. So that's not too bad. All right, let's take a look at this air cleaner. It's a little dusty. So some of the other things that that are in here that are supposed to be part of the 50-hour service. The engine start system. I'm not sure exactly what they're referring to there, other than the battery, the starter, alternator maybe, I don't know. OPC system, and that says every 50 hours, and that's page 126, and that is the occupant. It has to do with the safety seat, and I know you're probably not checking yours. Operator presence control system, and I'm not checking mine either. I know it works because when I get going down a hill, and even, you know, regardless of speed, if the hill is steep and I'm just rolling down the hill, I tend to lean a little forward. When that happens, the engine shuts off because I came off the seat just a little bit. Greasing, a greaser implements every 10 hours of operation, right? The dealership has told me 10 hours of implement operation, not 10 hours of tractor operation. So wheel bolt torque, I'll have to check that, and lock lever. Before you use the lock lever, clean the lever movable area. And it shows a diagram of the actual lever. It's basically the lock lever that prevents the stick from moving when you engage it. So after that last job of moving gravel, I started hearing a little bit of a thump in the front end. So along with the 50-hour service, checking some other things that aren't necessarily listed in the book is not a bad thing. And one of the things that I discovered was that this front axle, and I'm going to try to make it so you can see I don't know if you can see that, but it's a little bit loose front to back. So it's moving this way just a little bit. There's a center pin that the axle pivots on, and the manual shows that pin to be checked or adjusted at 400 hours. Well, I'm only at 50 hours, and I think it's just a little bit too loose. Now, there's a castle nut down in the front that allows for the adjustment, and it's a 15 foot-pound torque spec according to the manual. So here's a shot of the front axle from the front underneath. This nut should be set to 15 foot-pounds, which is kind of hard to do with the slots in the castle nut. When you get it close, you kind of have to go looser or tighter to get your cotter pin back in. But I'm going to pull this pin out, and I'm going to see just how tight this nut is. I've got my torque wrench set to 15 foot-pounds, which is not very tight at all. Oh yeah, that was loose. That's 15 right there. So I set it to 15 foot-pounds, which was sort of in between this slot and this slot. And then I had to tighten it to the next slot in the castle nut to put in the new pin. This pin is, I think it's 5/32, which is the same as the old pin. The only problem is the pin that I have, the replacement pin, is 2.5 inches. So it's longer than I need, but that's not a big deal. So I just need to install this pin, bend it over. Something like that. It's not exactly it's not exactly pretty. So now let's see if that made any difference. There's still a little bit of a give there, but it's tighter, it's snugger, so that's a good thing. Front wheel torque should be 110 to 132 foot-pounds according to the manual. backs should be 80 to 96. Coffee break. One of the things that I learned too in this world of tractors and that I am new to, I found that, well, I have, let me show you. This is what I use for hearing protection. My son bought me this, I think for Christmas. I've been using these since I got the tractor. These are fantastic. This is a hard case. You can hang it. I don't. I mean, I'll leave it on the table over there, but it's my work tunes. 3M work tunes. Pretty decent hearing protection inside the tractor. It does get loud in the cab, but even if you don't have a cab, hearing protection is not a bad thing. It comes with this. This is my charging cable. It's a USB charging cable, but these are Bluetooth, and so I connect my cell phone to it. I got a piece of Velcro on the dash. I stick my phone up there, and I use my satellite radio app, and I go right to my headphones with it via Bluetooth. And one of the things that I noticed is that if I listen to calm music, if I'm listening to the Eagles or Bob Seger or something mellow, I kind of have a gentler touch on the controls, and I seem to have a better feel for the machine. But if I'm listening to something hard and aggressive, I find myself using the controls more aggressively. It's a little, herky-jerky with the loader and whatnot. So practice makes perfect, and I'm definitely no expert. So having fun learning though. Listening to music and protecting your hearing at the same time, it's a win-win. Thanks for checking it out, and hope you have a great day. We'll see you next time.